So, Facebook just randomly crashed for hours, and this crash was a little bit different than any of the temporary outages that I've seen in my experience on social media. And I've had quite a bit of experience in social media over the last 6-7 years, and this was a little bit different. It was more of a DNS type situation, which basically means that the way that all the individual computers that link to Facebook was down. And it actually looked for a while there that like the actual whole, like everything was shut down. It was a little bit more serious than might have been reported. And I wanted to go live to talk with everybody in real time. I'm sure there's a lot of people in the comments right now that know a lot more on the technicals, but from what I understand, it is a DNS and a BGP protocol situation where basically how your computer tells, or how Facebook tells your computer to link up to it, was completely down. And I kind of wanted to do this live stream as a thought experiment to what would your life be like without the ability to communicate with your friends on Instagram and Facebook. A lot of people forget, but Facebook owns Instagram. They basically stole it for like $1 billion back in the day. Now Instagram, I don't even know what kind of valuation you could put on Instagram. The current valuation of Facebook is right at just under $1 trillion. So $919 billion is Facebook's market cap. It was down just about 5% today due to this news. So what's so crazy is the active user base of Facebook is just under 1 billion users. You heard me right, just under 1 billion users, almost 10 times the American population. It's pretty staggering. So the American population is around 333 million people, citizens in the United States, and Facebook has just under 3 billion. Instagram has just over 1 billion users. So even Instagram has more users than the American population, about 3 times more users than the American population. So if every single American used Instagram, it's 3 times that. A lot of people rely on these sites, a lot of them. So I don't kind of take this lightly. I'm making protocols now on how to mitigate from these social medias, to my own site and stuff like that. So does your business rely on Facebook? Does it rely on Instagram? Does it rely on WhatsApp? Understand that one company that is a private company or a public company, but it's held under one company rather, they control all of that. They control Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, all under the same umbrella, all under the Facebook umbrella. So this is very strange for all 3 of those specifically to go down at the exact same time. Keep in mind, this is a company worth just under $1 trillion. They have some of the most advanced developers and some of the most advanced security experts working for them in the entire world. I would argue the most advanced internet security experts work for Facebook. And for them to just randomly be down for hours upon hours on hours, it's kind of like how when the Fed wire system went down that one day. Remember when the Fed wire system went down that one day? I didn't take that lightly. A lot of people forgot about it, but I didn't take it lightly. That wasn't okay to me. That was a big deal. You mean to tell me the entire system, the entire way that we wire money in the United States could just be down? That doesn't make sense. That's never happened to Bitcoin. How come that hasn't happened to Bitcoin? Came out in 2009, and this internet funny money, how come the protocol hasn't been broken yet? Can you really mean me that? Like 12 years? No problem like that? Interesting. But for some reason, the entire Fed wire system can be down in a day. Same thing with Facebook. It's like you have the most advanced security experts and you are down for many hours. So right now, supposedly they're back online. So when I'm checking Facebook right now, I got my phone over here on the right. It is working. So it's back up now. But the way that it was down wasn't just any type of down occasion. So if you talk to any security experts on the internet, it was a bit different. A full-on DNS break like that doesn't make too much sense. So I wanted to go live to talk with you all and answer some comments. And everybody in the comments right now, you guys can all. There's no moderator. All comments are able to be. You don't need to be subscribed. all of it. I can read all your comments right now. So anybody that wants to put your opinion out there on this situation, what kind of protocols you're taking, that's kind of why I wanted to go live, was, less to just hear my perspective, but I want to hear from all of you, what's going on in your life and how are you preparing for this possible scenario. I mean, what I noticed is how much of like a zombie I become sometimes to just refreshing the social medias. And so I went to refresh Facebook and it felt like there was a part of my brain broken. I'm like, wait, what? I can't refresh that. And I realized that I'm like, I'm such a drone. I'm always refreshing this thing. And this is the first time that it just randomly didn't work like that. And then same thing with Instagram. I'm like, wait a minute, what kind of drone am I? Social media is the most powerful thing that we've ever been given as humans, I would say, but we've become so reliant on it. It's scary. And especially in times like these where we're kind of more shelled up, so to speak, we rely on these things for communications to the broad audience, to our broad friends and everything at once. Now, if this just goes down, I mean, we're in a very serious predicament here, because that makes it so that our voices can't be heard to our friends. So what protocols are you taking? Are you on all social medias? Do you have Telegram? Do you have all these different ones as well? That's why I'm not like only on YouTube. I'm also on Instagram now and Facebook, and now I'm on Telegram, and now I'm on Twitter. It's hard to get all of these different social medias and be able to post on all of them and build an audience on all of them. But times like these make me realize there's got to be some sort of measures in place. But what it mainly tells me is how important it is to finish my website and get emails, because that's how we could stay in contact if something like this happened. So that's honestly my first thing on my mind right now. It's what I wrote down on my whiteboard for my task of the day, is to get that dialed in with the emails. It is right now, but I want to have a better program. So the website currently works for emails, but I want to get it better, because that seems to be a solution, to have your own server, your own website, and getting your own email, so to speak, something like that. But this to me, I don't take it lightly, just like I didn't take the Fed wire system going down lightly. You want to know what I did when I saw the Fed wire system go down? I figured out everything there is to know about Bitcoin, because that's the digital asset, in my opinion. I cannot have a digital gold and silver, or gold, silver, platinum, palladium. You know how I like everything. I actually like the utility metals much more than gold, but let's say silver, platinum, palladium, I can't have that digital. I don't trust an ETF with that, and I don't want to trust a custodian with that to give me some token against that. So in my digital layer, it has to be Bitcoin. And so what I did is I learned how to run my own node and verify my own Bitcoin, hold my Bitcoin in cold storage. I learned all of those things right after that Fed wire system went down. I told myself I will never have to rely solely on that for money in the digital realm, for an asset in the digital realm. Never again, because if they can do that, that can happen for a week, that could happen for a month. We don't know how long. And what would the world look like if the whole Fed wire system just collapsed like this and it happened for a week? What would this look like if this went down for an entire week? I don't like to just go, oh, it's back online, whatever, it's no big deal. It's not okay. It's not okay to me, and I'm very concerned about it. And obviously, I want to make a video and go live and talk with all of you about it, because this is very strange. Let's go ahead and go through some comments here. I don't think Silver Gold TV Super Chat says, it's a social test to see how people, and I appreciate the $5 Super Chat, man. Appreciate it. He says, it's a social test to see how people may react in a massive grid down to a false flag EMT. I try to not go too far down the rabbit holes, but I don't discount that. Let's just say that. I don't discount that. The Fed wire system going down, I don't discount that type of theory. The one thing that I would say is always question everything. Never accept my word, never accept the word of any website. Just question everything and make your own decision after seeing all the options of information out there. That's the way that I look at things, and that's what I hope more people do, is just question everything. Always question things. So as crazy as that sounds, it's in the realm of possibilities. Nothing is impossible. Alex Milo, I appreciate that, man. He just put a $5 super chat. Wait, no, underneath he said, this will be a domino in the stock market, and crypto will just confirm the plan B, Bitcoin to 120K in December. It's looking like it's ripe for a breakout over 50. That's actually a fresh chart, just so you know. That refreshes every 5 minutes up there. So, yeah, I mean, it's... like I've said in the past, the whole idea that the precious metals community needs to be in a headbutting match with the Bitcoin community, if there's anything I want to do is I want to help be a bridge between the two communities, because if a lot of people bought Bitcoin as insurance like I did back when it was under 10,000, it would have been a great insurance play. I still look at it that way, and I'm very happy that I have a very large Bitcoin position, despite really liking precious metals as well. So I don't see them as competitors. I see them as safe haven assets, and it would be, in my opinion, the way I look at it is it's foolish to be all in Bitcoin, and it's foolish to have none of it. And I think that's the way like Ray Dalio looks at it, who's also a precious metals guy, put 5%, I believe, into Bitcoin. That's how Kevin O'Leary looks at it, I believe. It's just the way to look at it is an insurance play if you're just getting into it. And then once you get into it, if it grows in value, you have something to protect there, and then you start learning more and more and more about it once you have skin in the game. And then eventually you go down the rabbit hole like I have, and you have your own node to verify your Bitcoin and cold storages to use and all these different things, and you realize just how elegant it is. Ideally, I think that with Bitcoin, I've talked about this in the past, but all of Bitcoin, all of precious metals combined, we're talking gold, silver, platinum, palladium, rhodium, all of it in a basket together with Bitcoin is like $15 trillion, roughly. When you're talking about like including derivatives, over a quadrillion out there, like 900 trillion in financial assets out there in the world, plus all the derivatives being like another 400 trillion of that, so like 1.3, 1.4 quadrillion dollars out there. Yeah, we shouldn't be in a headbutting match in this little $15 trillion space over here. We should realize that probably hundreds of trillions of this fake money out here is going to go into these 15 trillion worth of safe haven assets here. And I would imagine that Bitcoin would be one of the fastest horses in that basket, if not the fastest horse. So I just don't see it as a thing where, all in might be foolish, having none might be foolish. That's how I look at it. I've always looked at that. Not financial advice, disclaimer, as always. But that's how I feel about it. But it's true. Look at, like, the Bitcoin network didn't crash. When the Fedwire system went down, Bitcoin network was running fine. When this happened, Bitcoin network running fine. The way that I describe it is with Bitcoin, it's like the problem itself is very simple with the money. The problem is extremely simple. It's the solution that was complex. And I think a lot of people get that mistaken in the cryptocurrency world because the problem was simply that we needed a digital asset with a hard cap that was sound money. That's the problem. We need sound money. Hard cap, very divisible, sound money, decentralized. Very simple problem needs a complex solution. Bitcoin is the complex solution to a simple problem. Now we have all of these altcoins trying to find the next self-driving Uber lawnmower, and it's like you don't need that. You just needed sound money with a hard cap that was divisible by 100 million units of measure underneath each Bitcoin. So it's like it's a perfect solution to the simple problem. Complex solution, simple problem. And that's why I'm only in Bitcoin. I'm not into any of the other cryptos out there. I only think Bitcoin is the one that I'm interested in, or not think, I know it's the only one I'm interested in. And I've spent a lot of time studying it. I still haven't found anything that I see as a viable competitor. It's just so far ahead of everything else and has so many years. Anyway, there's another super chat. Crypto King, I appreciate it, man. The $5 super chat from Crypto King says, I got Bitcoin when it was $600. There is only one other great crypto besides Bitcoin. It is called Bitcoin Cash. It will catch bid soon. I don't know about that one, my friend. I appreciate the super chat, but I will stand firm on only Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin Cash is a bit of a, I don't want to use inappropriate words, but I wouldn't be into that myself. So personally, it's only Bitcoin, nothing else. The thing about Bitcoin is now the layer is so pure that people that don't know about Bitcoin, you should look into what the Lightning Network is. So these solutions that are trying to be the peer-to-peer cash, where you go and like buy a coffee with it or something like that, there's already a solution to that called the Lightning Network, and it's in full effect in El Salvador. You can walk into a McDonald's in El Salvador and buy food with Bitcoin, like instantaneously, because of the Lightning Network. And the Lightning Network is freeing up the protocol on the first layer. So it's making it so it's very cheap and efficient to send Bitcoin everywhere. So it's like Bitcoin is so pure at the base layer that they're building layers on top of Bitcoin to make it more elegant. It's almost like, you have, your banking, and then you have Zelle and Venmo and Cash App and all these ways to do quick payments back and forth. But Bitcoin is like the perfect base asset. And now they're putting layers on top of that via Lightning Network. And before you know it, you have smart contracts on Bitcoin, all of that different stuff on the Bitcoin network. It's like the internet. It's like you don't need an internet number two. Internet works, and then you build layers on top of the internet. That's how Bitcoin is, in my opinion. So I'm not into the Bitcoin Cash, the Bitcoin SV, or any of that stuff. That's not for me. I'm just BTC Bitcoin. That's the only thing I'm interested in. I'm just a simple squirrel. I like my silver. I like my platinum. I like my palladium. I like my Bitcoin. I keep it real simple. I'm not into any other one. Not into the Ethereum, not into the Cardano, not into any of that. Just Bitcoin. It's trying to make a complex problem out of something that's very simple. The solution is complex, but Bitcoin is a solution to a simple problem. Let me see. By 100, I have 52 Facebook accounts. I don't know how you pulled that off, because they're pretty tough on that, but that's pretty impressive, Byte Hunter. Mr. Dog will hunt. They steal your money through taxes and inflation. They're taking our freedoms every day. What makes you think Bitcoin isn't on their list? Because I understand how Bitcoin works at this point. The options are very limited. The options are extremely limited. When you look into like cold storage, running your own node, all of these types of things, you realize that this truly is decentralized. It'd be a very long, like hour-long rant to go into detail on all of the different protocols of Bitcoin, and like what I've learned, at least to this point, because there's always something for me to learn. I probably know like 30% of what I need to know about Bitcoin, and that's me after spending like an entire 6 months, like every day thinking about it and working on it. So I got into Bitcoin about a year and a half, something like that ago, and then I had a bit like way back when, but only recently over the last year did I get like really serious about learning about it. And when I say that, I mean like sleepless nights, being on Twitter all the time, talking to some of the people that have been in the Bitcoin community for like ever. And the more I learn about it, and trust me, I'm the type of person that'll see a Ferrari drive by and I'll be like, oh, look at the scratch on the fender right there on that Ferrari. It's like, well, dude, it's a $400,000 car. You care about the scratch? Yeah. Look, there's a scratch on the fender. It's right there. Like I have that kind of mind. I pick out a flaw in something. I always do that, but I can't do it. I can't find the flaw in Bitcoin. I'm still trying to find it. And trust me, I have nothing to benefit. My benefit is owning a precious metals company is selling precious metals. So I just want to be real about it. I would benefit by saying, oh, Bitcoin, being a Peter Schiff and being like, Bitcoin bad, only gold. Like that would be a beneficial thing for me. But the money is not worth sacrificing being honest. I can't honestly say that that Bitcoin is a problem. I mean, Bitcoin is what could actually make the citizens have leverage over these crazy banks. Like it really is. Silver's a tool, platinum's a tool, gold's a tool, but it's not as strong of a tool as Bitcoin, in my opinion. Bitcoin can be very strong, but the thing is, if Bitcoin succeeds, it'll likely raise the price of precious metals because they've been falsely suppressed for so long. That's what I'm trying to say. Like this basket of $15 trillion worth of assets between precious metals and Bitcoin is tiny compared to all of the money out there. And all of this money is looking for a safe haven. And just because if Bitcoin wins, it doesn't mean that industries won't need utility precious metals. They're still going to need them. It's just might put a more realistic price on something that has been falsely suppressed for far too long due to paper derivatives. It would probably unleash precious metals, if anything. So it's laughable to me to see this headbutting match between precious metals and Bitcoin. It's like, just have both. Like, what's the big deal? There's no better digital asset, in my opinion. And in the physical realm, there's nothing better than silver and platinum, in my opinion. That's how I feel. And I'm now mixing palladium in the mix as well. But that's pretty much where I'm at. But all of these things, these are topics to bring up with something like this crash in Facebook. It's a lot of power for one company to have between Facebook and Instagram, to have 3 billion people between these apps. Or actually, could be more than that, because it's 1 billion on Instagram, just under 3 billion for Facebook. So it's probably like 3.5 billion, because a lot of people on Instagram don't have a Facebook. A lot of people on Facebook don't have an Instagram, so to speak. So probably like 3.5 billion. Let's just round it up, of users. They are the most powerful country in the world. And nobody really talks about that much. To have that many users, when you realize that the United States, they have more users, I believe, than the population of China. Hang on, what is the population of China? Population of China. Yeah, 1.4 billion is the population of China, roughly. So 1.4, 1.5 billion, I think, is what it says here. 1.4 billion people in China. And so Facebook has more users than all of China and all of the United States combined, with an extra billion or so to spare. That's scary for that to just be down in the blink of an eye, because that's how you reach out to all your friends. It's how you stay in the loop with things. If that randomly, if things were going on where we're in a bad scenario and we're kind of in a shelled up situation, so to speak, and then you can't speak to any of your friends, you better now, at this very moment, now that it's back online, start thinking about, what if this happened for a month? Start thinking about that. It's a good thought experiment and something to prepare yourself for if that ever could happen. That's what I'm thinking about right now. And I hope that it helps you in some way. I wanted to just go live for a little bit and talk about this. Despite it being back online, let's see if Facebook looks like it's back online. It's just kind of slower, like a little bit. It seems like it's taking a little bit longer to refresh. Let's see, Instagram. Instagram looks like it's back online as well. And I had just posted something to the story, so the story's up there, and it shows, yep, it's showing it's working right now. So follow me at Rob Sultan on it. But in all seriousness, if you own a company and you're relying on Instagram, you're relying on Facebook, you're relying on certain apps, start thinking about, what do you do next? It could be Telegram, could be making your own website, could be all these different things, but be prepared for that. And in regards to your friends, make ways that you can access your friends and your loved ones, other than these social medias, because it's pretty insane how much power is in one place. A lot of people don't realize that Facebook owns Instagram, WhatsApp, quite a bit of other companies as well, I believe, integrated into Facebook. A lot of people just don't know that Instagram and Facebook are the same thing. Just like a lot of people don't know that Venmo and PayPal are the same thing, etc. But yeah, I think that it's a lot bigger of a deal than a lot of people are going to say, and it'll probably just get brushed under the rug, like that whole Fed wire system going down for a day. But what happens if there was a situation, if just hypothetically, thought experiment, not saying this is going to happen, disclaimer, 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 disclaimer. Okay. Just my opinion, probably won't happen, but just thought experiment. What if the Fed wire system goes down for a month, Facebook goes down for a month, and Twitter goes down for a month? What do you do in that scenario? How do you act? What do you do? What's your plan? Something to think about. Something to think about. I'm gonna go through a couple more comments here, and then we'll call it a stream. I've been meaning to do a lot more content, and I hope you see that by my actions rather than me just saying that. If you could smash the like button, would really appreciate it. It really helps these videos get out there to more people and means a lot to me. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, would really appreciate it if you click the subscribe. Somewhere over there should be a subscribe square, maybe right there-ish. We'd love to have you as part of the channel. But I'm going to be making, I'm trying to make a schedule of roughly 3 to 5 videos a week. And it sounds like a lot, but I'm pretty sure I can get it done. That's my new thing because I want to spend a lot more time with YouTube. Now that this live stream situation is set up, and this also helps for me when I make my just regular videos, that I have it dialed in a way where it's just a quick button over here. I can make videos a lot more efficiently, and so plan to be making a lot more videos on the channel, and I appreciate all the support to get me to where I am now with the YouTube channel. I don't have really anything to plug except for my social medias that went down, and maybe follow all of them. Shameless plugs everywhere. Just kidding, but seriously. Let's get to a few more comments over here. I don't think I missed any of those. Last one was talking. Just to be clear, the last one of those super chats was talking about other cryptos than just Bitcoin. I'm only in Bitcoin. I only believe in Bitcoin. I think there is only one crypto asset, and it's Bitcoin. A crypto asset so good that can also be a currency, and that's Bitcoin. I don't see any other that makes sense. I'm just betting only on the one I believe in. That's how I feel. Crypto King says, internet goes down, Bitcoin is worthless. I mean, until it comes back online, because it's definitely a good thought experiment, but if internet goes down, then the world will be a very scary place. And that's kind of what we're talking about right now. And that's why I'm not all in on Bitcoin. That's why I have my precious metals in addition. So it's just foolish to be all in, foolish to have none, in my opinion. That's how I look at Bitcoin. You know, it's not going to be something that makes me completely dump all of my silver, all of my platinum, all of my palladium. I wouldn't do that. But it is something that I have a lot of conviction on, and I think is a very, very beautiful digital asset. Very needed in the world today. I think it's going to help precious metals, if anything, just be the fastest horse in the race. So that's how I feel. And the other thing too about this is the stock crash in Facebook going down 5% on this news real quick. So if you're an investor in Facebook, it's something to think about that the company can just randomly have its DNS servers go out. That's pretty wild, and it's pretty overvalued. Well, I mean, depends on how you value something, but the fact of the matter is to be valued at just under $1 trillion. That's a price to earnings ratio of 24. So pretty lofty price to earnings ratio based on it being, a $1 trillion company. To put it in perspective, Facebook has roughly the same valuation as Bitcoin, which is meant to be an actual reserve asset worldwide, and Facebook has roughly the same market cap. Kind of scary to think about. But yeah, that's pretty much everything. World keeps talking about change. London's Falling says he's bringing up the point of a Bitcoin chain does not have the capability of the smart contracts. That's the draw of Ethereum, ADA, and other smart chains. I think that's completely false. You got to do more research. Smart contracts will be coming out on Bitcoin, and I believe that some of them already exist. It's going to be basically elaborated upon. It's like you don't, when the internet came out, you don't need to go, okay, well, there's internet 2.0 over here, internet 3.0. There wasn't that. There's just the internet was so good, and when it first came out, it was slow, it was rough, but then you enhance it and you enhance it and you build upon it, and it's still the same internet. It's just built upon, and that's how I see Bitcoin. It's like the narrative with Bitcoin, if you remember, used to be, oh, it's so slow, it won't make any sense, it's not going to do this. Then the Lightning Network came out. Now that argument is void and invalid. Every single argument against it was destroyed by Lightning Network. You can literally tip somebody on Twitter up like $1, and it's like pretty much free. I think it is free, actually. So it's like using the Lightning Network is extremely efficient, extremely fast, extremely secure, and that didn't used to be the narrative. Now, because the NFT market is clogging up Ethereum and Cardano and all of that, it made it so the gas fees are extremely high, and that didn't used to be the narrative. The narrative used to be Bitcoin's fees were too high, right? Well, that narrative is gone now. Have you noticed that? It's actually a lot more efficient than all of them. Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? It's almost like they didn't know what they were talking about back then, because people that actually did use the Bitcoin network realized they were wrong. I've moved quite a bit of Bitcoin for like pennies on the dollar, very fast, very efficient. So like guys like Peter Schiff have never actually ran a node, never have actually used cold storage, never actually understand the technology. They just like to rant about it. For me, I would rather, despite being in precious metals, I wanted to actually learn about it. So I spent, months taking time off and only learning about Bitcoin. And then I realized there's a lot to this. Then people just regurgitating the same information without understanding the system at all. There really is a lot to it. Yeah, Justin, I mean, in that scenario, then it would be great to have silver and platinum in addition. Ashmon says, you oddly know very little about Bitcoin. I mean, I would say I know about 30% of what I need to know about Bitcoin, to the point where I run my own full node, which is, I would say it's up there. The next step would be my own ASICs miners. So I would say that I know quite a bit, a decent amount, Ashmods. It's like I say on the situation with like a hawk on the top of a tree branch. It could be like a sketchy tree branch, but it's not. It's sitting there kind of stoic because it believes in its own abilities. It knows it can fly away if that tree branch breaks. Like, I believe in my own abilities to study something. I'm pretty confident in the amount that I know about Bitcoin. There's a lot I do need to know. I would say that there's still like 70% of it that I need to know, but that's getting into like ASIC miners, running a company with Bitcoin, like doing things like going way deeper than I currently am. Right now, I know how to store it properly and securely in cold storage, and I know how to run my own full node. I would say that's pretty advanced relative to the entire amount of people in Bitcoin. But I think that is about it. I'll go through a couple more comments here and we'll call it a day, maybe one more minute or so. So if you have a comment, throw it out there. I will try to see it. Bitcoin Fight Club says, I think the people that are chasing these 100 times 50 ask dreams with all of these coins shouldn't be, because they don't have any position in BTC first. I would agree with you. Boone MSGT says the elites are money grabbing so they can hide from the purge. WEF. Salvador says helium would need a large solar flare on a huge scale to do the same thing. So you're banking on the sidechain aspect of the BTC network. I can respect that, but I do have a lot of concerns with that, but still well thought out. I'm a miner personally. That's great to hear, London's Falling. I mean, spend some time studying it, and I'm spending some time studying it. Maybe you spent more time studying it, but there is a lot going on with the Lightning Network on Bitcoin, and we all have to admit that narrative has changed dramatically. And this all goes under the same conversation, where this video is supposed to be about Facebook and all of that. It goes under the same conversation, because if digital things start collapsing, what happens if the digital money of the world collapses, which is the dollar? What happens if the Fed wire system goes down in the same way that Facebook went down? Pretty serious if that happened. You'd want to make sure that you had a digital asset outside of that. So, but yeah, with London's Falling, I mean, I personally just believe in the side chains developing, and they already have. I mean, the Lightning Network is in full operation. So if you haven't looked up Lightning Network, please do look into Lightning Network. You literally can walk into a McDonald's again and buy food, buy a coffee, buy whatever in El Salvador with the Lightning Network and get a receipt in Bitcoin and walk out. Boom, done. And if they can figure it out, I'm pretty sure we could figure it out in the U.S. It's pretty crazy that exists. But yeah. And that's nothing against metals. Again, I think that they will all go up together. I really do. I think it's foolish to have, I've said it a million times already, foolish to be all in, foolish to have none. That's how I feel. And I feel that same way to be with silver, platinum, palladium, and gold. I mean, that's how I feel about all of it. So have your decentralized portfolio. Never forget to build your own business. And if you're building your own business, don't rely on Facebook. Make sure you have other avenues. And that's something that I'm thinking about right now. So everybody that smashed the like button, everybody that shares my content and gets it out to more people. I just made a video on this $1 trillion coin, which was extremely concerning, because at first I thought it was a complete joke. Then I spent about I want to say 3 hours digging into the details of it. It's just wild to me that Janet Yellen used to be the Fed chair, comes over to the Treasury, which is supposed to keep checks and balances and be separated parties, but the person who used to run the Fed is now running the Treasury, being the Secretary of Treasury, that can now mint any coin at any denomination. And it's not just $1 trillion. They could make it a 5 trillion coin. They could do 10 $1 trillion coins, hypothetically. They literally could. And the law exists that allows them to do that. which is wild. Totally scary that is there. So I just made a video on all the details on that if you want to go check out that video. Again, if you want to subscribe to the channel, click the subscribe and the bell afterwards if you want to be notified of these live streams and stuff. Thanks again, everybody, for being part of the live stream here, and prepare yourselves. Not to be like someone that's like trying to draw a bunch of concern or rile you up or anything, but just be smart. Think about if this happened for a month, if this happened for a couple weeks, what would it be like? Do you have access to the friends that you want to have access to? Is your business set up in a way where it relies only on these things? All of these different aspects, I think it's really important. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Signing out.